In this video, we're going to talk about one very important metric every business owner should know for long-term success, regardless of the business you're in. So a little bit later in this video, I'll be giving you some actionable strategies and tactics that you can apply to your business. By the way, my name is Greg Ranger, and I help business owners increase their revenue with digital marketing, but not how you might think. And actually, before we get started, if you're looking to grow your business over the next 12 months, be sure to check out gregranger.com. Watch a quick video there, and if you like what you see, fill out the form and we'll get on a call. Perfect. So type yes if you can hear me. Awesome. So typically business owners come to me because they want to profitably increase their sales with digital marketing. And even though they might have been in business for 5, 10, 20 years, and some of my clients actually generate 7 figures plus in revenue, they just can't seem to get to the next level with their online marketing specifically. So they still tell me that they feel confused and overwhelmed by the whole thing. And 15, 20 years ago, all you needed was a website. And even then, you didn't really need a website. You just needed to be in the yellow pages with a phone number, right? So, and now today it's totally different. There's so much technology. It can get very confusing and actually overwhelming since there's, mixed messages about what you should do or should not do in your advertising. So I can totally relate. I know I get tons of conflicting advice as well in terms of what's working, what's not. So this is why I test all this stuff. And what I tell my clients that, the business owners that feel overwhelmed and confused is that there's at least always one thing that will work, and that is knowing your numbers. So more specifically, the one metric every business owner should know, regardless of the business you're in, is the lifetime value of a customer. So LTV. So the lifetime value of a client is extremely important. And actually, here's a story to illustrate. And actually, before we get into the story, again, if you're looking to grow your business over the next 12 months, be sure to check out gregranger.com, watch the quick video there, and of course, if you like what you see, fill out the application and we'll get on a call. So on to the story. So one of my clients called me and he's like, hey, we need to reduce my ad budget. And I took a pause and I was like, okay, why? And he's like, oh, it's just costing me too much. So I replied back, I'm like, hey, do you know the LTV of one of your clients? And he didn't respond. There was crickets on the other line. So basically, over the next few hours and few days, I showed him how to calculate the LTV, right? So we had to pull the data from his system and run the numbers. But essentially, here's what the outcome was. A new client for him comes on average 6 times a year. And every time he comes in, he spends $80 per visit. And on average, what we calculated was that they spend 4 years with him. So if we do the math, 6 times a year, $80 per visit, and then 4 times a year, he spends on average $1,920. So that's his rough LTV for one client. So if we go back to the advertising, he was spending on average $2,000 a month and getting 10 clients out of it. So to get one new client, it cost him $200. Now, if you recall, the LTV of one client was $1,920. So what's clear is that, yes, he spent $200 to get that client, so he did not make any profit on the first and second visit. So by the way, that client is a physiotherapist. He's still in business. So he didn't make any money on the first and second visits. However, for the remaining 22 visits, it was all profit. So with that big aha moment, instead of reducing the ad budget, we actually increased it. So that's the power of knowing and having your metrics in place. We can actually confidently increase our ad spend knowing that we'll make a profit on the third visit and beyond. So that's it for the story. So actually, if you're serious about growing your business over the next 12 months, again, be sure to check out gregranger.com. There's a quick video there that you can watch. And if you like what you see, just fill out the form and we can get on the call. Now, how do we make this actionable for your specific business? So here's one tip. The very first action you want to do is actually spend a few days and quite possibly a few weeks to pull out all your historical sales data and actually start running the numbers. Start calculating your LTV, start calculating how much it costs you to acquire a new customer, so your CAC, customer acquisition costs. If you have different products or services, you might actually calculate it per vertical. So for example, if you are an accounting firm and you offer corporate bookkeeping services as well as personal tax services, well, the LTV for a corporate client might differ than for a personal tax services client, right? So you might want to do it with LTV. And actually just doing this exercise, you're going to be able to see where most of your profit comes, right? Or where most of your revenue also comes. And actually, tip number 2 is if you can actually hire some college math graduate students to actually run the numbers on your business. So that is actually a cost-effective way to do this. And actually, if you're not quite there yet, maybe you're earlier in your business life and you don't have any of those systems in place, you can just start collecting data today, right? So you might not need to have a fancy system. You can do this with a basic spreadsheet and a basic CRM. What you want to do is track how much you spend in ads every month, how many inquiries, whether that's a form that gets filled out, whether that's a phone call that's generated. So how many inquiries are generated every month? And of course, how many new clients or sales are generated every month, right? And then if you do repeat business, you want to be able to start tracking how many times they come every week, every month, and so forth. So tip number 3 is really just start tracking data today so that when you look back 6-12 months down the line, you have all this accumulated data and you know the LTV of your client, which allows you to spend a lot more money to acquire that new client. So if we go back to the physiotherapist example, right? His LTV is $1,920, so almost $2,000, which means that he can spend up to $1,500 or $1,900 to acquire one new client, right? So when you put that into perspectives, it allows you to invest confidently in your advertising. So you can pay $1,000 to get one new client, knowing that you'll eventually make that $2,000 back. And actually, without getting too technical, that's what a lot of the tech companies do, is that they calculate the LTV and they know that, okay, on average, the LTV might be $2,000 or $3,000. So they're willing to lose money on the first and second year to acquire new clients and grow. So that's it for my tips. And doing this exercise is good for your business. It's going to allow you to grow faster. And just knowing this number on a month-to-month, week-to-week basis, you can actually project your growth and grow faster, essentially. So again, if you are serious, if you like this type of content, leave me a comment, leave me questions. If you're actually serious about growing your business over the next 12 months, be sure to check out gregranger.com. Watch the quick video there. If you like what you see, fill out the form and we'll talk. Again, I want to thank you for watching. If you're watching this live, thank you. If you're watching this a little bit later on, leave a question if you have any comments or questions. I will answer them in the next videos. So again, like and share this if you like it. And again, it's been Greg Ranger. And be sure to check out gregranger.com. Have a great day. Cheers.